A lot of folks are talking about the ninja level of the damage over time builds over the place. However, this Poison Twisting Blade build I crafted at the beginning of the season is still one of the top builds in Season 2 in my opinion. Let's take a look at how this build is performing to the hardest bosses in the game. Uber Lilith, Phase 1. It took about 3 to 4 seconds without her doing anything. This is Phase 2. Her health bar is simply gone before any mechanic kicks in. If you haven't killed Uber Lilith yet, this build is your chance now. Echo of Varshan in just a few seconds. This is the Grig boss. In a few seconds, he was gone and left all the loot. Also Uber Duriel, no problem. I have done probably around 50 Uber Duriel runs already. However, my luck of getting any Uber unique is still 0. Well, this build functions well without any of the Uber uniques. Besides the awesome damage, this build is also very tanky. It tanks the world boss's attack without any issue, and it can do 100 tier Nightmare Dungeon without any problem. As we are using combo point for our specialization, for those who are new to the rogue build, you need to pay attention to how to play. You can see Twisting Blade damage is increasing with the number of combo points you have, so you need to release your Twisting Blades after your combo points are filled up to get the full potential out of the build. Once you acquire the Tibault Will unique pants, your number of combo points can go up to 22. With the Condemnation Dagger, you can reach to 22 combo points very fast. I think you don't need that much damage either way. I got a perfect Uber Lilith kill without this setup. If you want to see more content like this, please smash the like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to never miss a video. For helmet, you are going to look for total armor, one of the resistances, maximum life, and plus rank to poison imbuement. And we're using aspect of might to get a 20% reduction whenever you use the basic skill, so this is very powerful for defense. On the chest, we're looking for total armor, one of the resistances, damage reduction, and also damage reduction of another kind. For the aspect, we're using Umbro's Doom aspect. This is very critical because you can get Dark Shroud for free without any Dark Shroud on your skill bar. So whenever you get a lucky hit, there's a chance to spawn Dark Shroud automatically. This will boost your defense significantly. For gloves, we're looking for dexterity, attack speed, lucky hit chance, and of course plus ranks for Twisting Blades. And we're using Pestilent Point aspect on the gloves. I'm using Tibault Will unique pants. The increased damage is really good for poison build because this is double dipping. The increased maximum resource will increase your maximum number of combo points. This will boost your damage to an insane level. Damage reduction mode is always good. If you don't have Tibault Will pants, you can use some regular pants like this. Looking for total armor, one of the resistances, maximum life, and 1 damage reduction or 2 damage reduction mode of your choice. You can use Umbro's aspect here, and then you can put, for example, Inner Calm aspect on your gloves, which will give you up to 30% of damage while you are standing still, which is really good for the boss fights. Panic Greaves is a good choice for the boot. It gives you more multiplier of the damage when enemies are chilled, and it gives you the chill for free. And also you can change the skill tree to give more damage multiplier. Use Accelerating aspect on your crossbow. This will give you a lot of attack speed. And for the stats, look for all stats, dexterity, damage to close enemies, and also damage to crowd control enemies. The last stat is very critical. You should look for the stats all over the gears because we're using close quarters combat key passive, and it will scale your damage based on the damage to crowd control bonuses. On the Amulet, we're using aspect of disobedience to get tons of armor for defense. The most important stat you're looking for should be plus rank to all imbuement skills and also plus rank to deadly venom passives. This will give you a lot of poison damage. Increased damage is good, which is double dipping for poison build. Energy cost reduction is not necessary. My gear is not optimized at all. You can look for movement speed, for example. The first ring, we're using aspect of bursting venom. This is really good to keep your poison imbuement so up and also deal DOT damage for the enemies around. This is really good for boss fights. For the stats, look for damage to close enemies, damage to close controlled enemies, lucky hit chance, and maximum life. On the second ring, we're using aspect of corruption. Looking for very similar stats, damage to close enemies, damage to crowd control enemies, lucky hit chance, and the maximum life. For the one-handed weapon, we're using Blade Dancer aspect. Definitely use this one, which is the iconic aspect for Twisting Blades. Looking for all stats, dexterity, damage to crowd control enemies, and another additive damage bonus of your choice. We have a chilled enemy here, you can use close, damage to close enemies. We're using a Condemnation Dagger here because of the combo of Tibault Will. Hence, if you don't have this combo set up yet, you can just use another dagger similar to the first one. For the skill tree, we're using Puncture, Enhanced Puncture, Fundamental Puncture to get enemies vulnerable for some period of time. Of course, using Twisting Blades maximize on the points here, enhance the Twisting Blade and also improve the Twisting Blade. 3 point into Sturdy to get a lot of damage reduction for closed enemies. We're not using Siphoning Strike here because we're using the Undying Vampiric Power, but if you want to make your build more tanky, definitely you can put more points here. 1 point into Shadow Step, enhance the Shadow Step, and also discipline the Shadow Step to get some help for the cooldown. 1 point into Concussive to be able to get 1 point into Tricky Attacks to lock down enemies. And also just 1 point in Dash for movement capability. 1 point into Dark Shroud and 1 point into Enhanced Dark Shroud to get a chance to not consume Dark Shroud. This will boost your defense significantly. And 1 point into Poison Trap, enhance the Poison Trap and also countering Poison Trap. Of course, 3 points into Exploit to give you damage multiplier to Halsey damages, points and damage build combined with, damage to Halsey enemies is really great combo. And 3 point into Malice, which give you additional damage multiplier. And then maximize your point in Poison Imbuement, enhance the Poison Imbuement. And we're using mixed Poison Imbuement instead of the blended Poison Imbuement because later on, we're not relying on Critical Strike chance for this DOT build. But early on, when you are leveling and building up this build, you can use this one and then switch to mixed Poison Imbuement later when you get a lot of poison damage. Then 3 point into Deadly Venom to get more multiplier for poison damage. 3 point in Deliberating Toxin to get enemies to deal less damage to you. 3 point into Frigid Furnace. This is really necessary when you get the Penitent Grief's unique boots. Before that, put this point into somewhere else. We're putting a lot of points into this cluster here, here, and also here to increase your lucky hit chance, which will proc Dark Shroud more for you to boost the defense and also Bursting Venom to boost the offense. And then 1 point into Adrenaline Rush to be able to get 3 point into Haste to increase your attack speed and also movement speed. And for the key passive, we can use Momentum, which has a pretty good movement speed and also damage reduction, but here we switched for Close Quarters Combat. So this will give you a lot of damage multipliers based on your bonuses to enemy that are crowd controlled. And at here we're getting a 98% damage multiplier, which is insane. Vampiric Power, Prey on the Weak to give more damage multiplier to vulnerable enemies. The Cursed Touch, Undying, Raveners to get more attack speed. And also Following Wind to get a lot of damage over time. For Paragon boss, I follow the Lucky Luciano's Paragon boss pretty much. I tried to make my own one, but in the end I found his is more effective. Big shout out to Lucky. The only difference that I have is that I haven't leveled my turf glyph to level 15, so I was using Diminish glyph loads here. It gives 30% more damage, 190 more armor, and almost 20 dexterity, which is pretty good. Hope you have enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.